So this is all quite straightforward. Lift these flaps up, there's 3 of these, one here, one in the middle and one at the end. So we're at the front of the car here. So each of these come up. They're a little sacrificial, you get afraid like that, but I don't really want to be drilling through these, so I'm literally removing them. So they do pull off, but the clips are quite brittle, so they do tend to just snap. And in here there's a small little grub screw, so I pull these off. They tend to break, but I don't need them, so that sits in there. And then in here's a little, I think it's, is it 5mm, 4mm, I think it's a 4mm grub screw. Yeah, so they're not in tight either, which is even better, because often these things are like bound in with glue and whatnot. So these ones, they're reasonably long, they're a good 3 or 4 centimeters long. I leave them in, and then leave them a little bit proud, and I'll show you why. So we do this at both ends, and the one in the middle we completely remove. So when I put the track on, I put the track into the middle, so it pivots in the middle. A bit of masking tape either both ends of the track, and then I literally bang down a little bit, and it will mark exactly where the hole needs to be. So you'll see that in just a moment. One thing to remember, these tracks that come from Frontrunner are 6mm tracks, 6mm holes. They need to be drilled out to allow for an M8. So let's do that first. There we go. So we only need to drill one of the holes, because the others we're not going to be using because they're all in the wrong place. So make sure that it's the same. So we've got the middle in. So the other great thing about this roof is that it's actually got a curve in 3 different axes. So the roof curves across the width like that. It curves across the length. But then these 3 screws also are not in a straight line. So in fact, actually, once one's down, you get the front down and bolt it in the back when you have to kind of push in. So that is the reason for doing this. So what we do, we get this one in so it's reasonably tight to where it's going to be, and then at each end, the masking tape. Oops. Put it where the grub screw is, like that. On each end. And once you're happy, this is not moving in that axis, basically line it where you want it, and basically give it a bang. You go at the front one where you want it, like that. Give that a bang. And then it's a matter of taking it off and drilling those holes out. And if you can see, but on there, there's enough of an imprint that. There we go, enough of an imprint that we can actually see exactly where it needs to be. Now it is important to get it right in the middle of that track, otherwise the heads don't go down into the track and you have to drill the hole out slightly. So now let's drill those 2 holes out. Okay, we're back with the track. So they've all been cut to length, they've all been drilled out. So we've got one down here, which is the back one. One down here, which is the front one. It's not an ideal location, but it's just what happens to be where the hole is on the Range Rover. And then we put on the rubber gasket, which comes with the front runner kit as well. It fits quite nicely. So we need to remove the grub screws that are left in the car. Then pop on the middle one. So the middle one can take a slightly longer bolt, I believe. So that can go in. Like that. So once it's reasonably tight, you're going to want to put on the next 2. But what I realised yesterday is that I then forgot to put in the UniStruct sliders and then you had to undo it all. So I'm going to go and grab those quickly. Pop a couple in front of this nut and then 4 in this back section because I'm going to have more weight on the back than I am on the front. So I'll grab those quickly. So I'll put the front one on first, because I tend to get a bit more leverage with that. Put the front one in, and then, which you can't quite see, I'll move you back a bit. And then I'll push that rail back. It does have some twist in it, thankfully, otherwise it wouldn't be able to fit at all. So just move you around a little bit. It's getting quite windy. Then onto that one. Is the roof track on. Then it's a matter of fitting the brackets to match up with the others. So as you would have seen from probably an earlier video, depending on how I edit this, the brackets sit too far out. So I'm having to adjust them so they push back in. Okay, so these brackets, when they sit on, you can't see from that angle, but they are, if I exaggerate it, they're pointing out like this. So what I've had to try and do is try and find a way of levelling that up without bending the bracket. And I'm doing that by using these little spacers. So when I get it in the right place, this will be glued to the bracket, like that. And then that will sit on there, like that. And that will make that straight. In fact, this is the first time I've seen it in place and it looks bang on actually. I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm going to paint all these. I'm going to pre-drill these lower brackets, and then the only drilling I'll be doing is on the upper brackets when they're attached to the roof rack itself. So I'm going to take the other ones off. I'm going to drill these out, paint them, stick on the feet onto them, and then we should be good to go for to try to put the roof rack on, although I'm waiting for the T-nuts.